Don't forget to like this video. Please comment, subscribe. Let me know your favorite songs. Let me know anything. If you listen to this type of music, you know what I'm saying? Just share it. I'm here bringing some good information. So be sure, you know what I'm saying, give me those likes. So let's get into this. So the Temptations were really, at this time when they got the Motown, they kind of was like, you know, struggling to get a hit, let's say. And the way the things you do stuck. Um, that was a good thing for the Temptations. That was written by Smokey Robinson, and that whole thing, and it became an instant pop hit. You know, that was 1964. So that was off the album Temptation Sing uh, Smokey. I think that was their. I'm not sure if that was their second album or third album. Uh, but um, Paul Williams was the strength of the group, and they always, Paul Williams was like the guy that actually, convinced Eddie Kendricks and Otis to dance, like really, you know, uh, choreographed, choreographer. He was their choreographer, before Charlie Atkins came. Charlie Atkins was, this, uh, he had a big name out there, and they was really, I guess they would like, take turns or whatnot, but really, Paul Williams was, the guy in the group for that. So a song that was meant for uh, I think, yeah, just the song that was meant for um, the Temptations to sing was a song written by Barry Gordy, and the song was "Do You Love Me," which was actually uh, that was meant for the Temptations. Paul Williams was going to sing "Do You Love Me" by the Contours, you know, but it was going to be Temptations doing "Do You Love Me," and Paul Williams was going to be the lead, and what ended up happening was he gave it to the Contours instead. So that's something probably you guys don't know, that Paul Williams was supposed to sing "Do You Love Me" by the Contours. I and Paul Williams don't get enough credit, as a singer. He really held his own in the group. Like, he was the one that told them sex sells. He told Otis that, like, hey, sex sells. So you gotta be in here, you gotta dance, you gotta be in here, you gotta really bring it for the ladies. He was really that guy that convinced them. But just to let you know, Do You Love Me was supposed to be a Temptation song. For those who don't know, Paul Williams was going to sing the lead. So that's the first song. Let's go to the second. So the next song we got is let's go let's back up a little bit. So the year is 1970. Diana Ross had left the Supremes. And so it was just, Florence Ballard had already left. So it was just Mary Wilson. And it was Mary Wilson. And it was Cindy Birdsong. Cindy Birdsong was originally with Patti LaBelle in it was Bluebells, if I'm not mistaken. So the Supremes end up getting Jean Terrell as the lead singer, as a replacement for Diana Ross. Diana Ross just went solo, and she redid "Ain't No Mountain High Enough" and stuff like that. Right. So at this point, the Supremes decide to under uh, Frank Wilson. Frank Wilson kind of like rebrand the Supremes and kind of made them into a little more, like sophisticated type thing. So, they had some success. They had Up the Ladder to the Roof. Everybody Got the Right to Love, and then they did the album with um, they did the album with the Four Tops. That was called Magnificent Seven, right? So they did that, and then so this song that was written, uh, Clifton Davis, he wrote this song, and he decided to. I think it was Frank Wilson. Frank Wilson was like, let the Supremes cut this song. The song was Never Can Say Goodbye. So they cut the song, but something is, not really clicking. They had some of the Funk Brothers was playing on that. So they decided to cut the track on the Jackson 5. And that got released a year later. So the Supremes had Never Can Say Goodbye first. And then the Jackson 5 ended up getting it. And they recorded And to be honest, the Jackson 5 version is far more superior, far more, you can really hear the pain, so to speak, from a 12-year-old, morphing into a 30-year-old grown man, so to speak, Michael Jackson. But that's something that some people probably didn't know, that the Supremes had Never Can Say Goodbye first. Their version, which you could find uh, on the anthology of the Supremes, the 70s anthology. That was the first time I heard it, was on that CD back in the day. Uh, but Berry Gordy, I think Berry Gordy did the right decision, and to cut it on the Jackson 5, because that solidified the Jackson 5, and it's on the same album as Maybe Tomorrow. Like, you talking about probably one of the greatest songs in history. I think Barry Gordy really, when he heard the Jackson 5 version, he just was like, yeah, you know, that's that's definitely what we need. And uh that pretty much was the blueprint for them to get started on Michael's solo album. So yeah, that was a boost right there. So let's get into the second, I don't know, should I say the third song? So the Temptations at this point, they were working with Norman Whitfield. Norman Whitfield had took over the Temptations, and he pretty much did a remake over, and that's pretty much what these guys were doing at Motown for these acts. The Frank Wilsons, the Norman Whitfields. They were rebranding. Putting this music, in a cinematic feel. They had, Otis encouraged Norman Whitfield to change his style. He kind of was like, "Hey, what Sly Stone doing? That's what we need to be doing." And Norman Whitfield was like, "Man, nobody worried about that. That's crazy." And then, Temptations went on tour. They came back. Cloud Nine was already cut. You know, it was just like that. He had got bit by the bug, and he took over. And you know, as years passed, some of the lineup changed. Paul Williams got sick. Uh, he got replaced by Richard Street. And once that happened, Eddie Kendricks left. Eddie Kendricks got replaced by Damon Harris, who I believe is probably the closest thing to Eddie Kendricks in terms of vocal temptation. Vocally a temptation. So they doing these albums, they having these platinum success. Paul Williams passes away, and Stevie Wonder was always a guy that was, since he was a boy, he would be in the back of the bus on the Motown review, playing his harmonica and, acting wild, so uh, they will always tell him like, hey, tone it down a bit. We're trying to relax because they playing these chitlin circuits and stuff. Back in the day, segregated crowds and all that. So Stevie Wonder writes this song called Golden Lady. And, he's like, this would be good for the Temptations. This would be good for, Dennis' voice, because Dennis had that, that gospel type uh, tone, that thing, but he could also like tone it, you know, very pretty. You know what I'm saying? And kind of like a hummingbird type, but still have that growl. So Stevie wrote Golden Lady for the Temptations, but see, this was going to be on the 1990 album. But at the last minute, Stevie Wonder said, you know what? I think I like this song. I'm going to take it back for me. Stevie Wonder ended up putting it on his Intervisions album. Uh, Temptations kind of like missed out on a good song for their 1990 album. The 1990 album was released in December of 73. Intervisions, August of 73. And to be honest, I think Stevie Wonder made a great choice keeping it for himself. Because it's like nobody can get that song like Stevie. Like nobody can sing like Stevie. Nobody can set things up like Stevie. His tonality, his presence on the track. Uh, so yeah. So this is just part one right here, or just something. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Do you think certain songs would have been a little bit, more successful? To be honest, I believe The Contours was a better decision for Do You Love Me. I believe that Never Can Say Goodbye was a better song for the Jackson 5. I believe Golden Lady was a better song for Stevie Wonder. Because I don't think Temptations could have pulled that off. I'm just saying. As much as I love Dennis Edwards' voice, Temptations, that's just facts. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I need 6K subs. All right.